A thief robbed a grocer and then offered sex with his wife. A shooter dies after partygoers throw bricks at him. And dog pee is blamed for a light pole's collapse in Japan. These are the weird stories for Wednesday on Weird AF News, the only daily weird news podcast hosted by a comedian. I have three very strange stories from around the world. Yes, thank you for joining me. A thief offered a grocer sex with his wife and then held him at gunpoint. A man stole a cash register from a grocery store. Yeah, not just the contents of the cash register. It's not one of these give me all your money situations. It's I'm taking the entire cash register because I'm long and I'm strong and I'm down to get the friction on. You got to be strong to take a cash register. Those things are heavy, especially the old school ones that go ching. Those things weigh like 400 pounds. Okay, so sorry. He stole the cash register, then he held the shopkeeper at gunpoint earlier that day. Oh, I'm sorry. No, earlier that day held him at gunpoint after offering him sex with his wife as a settlement. That's a strange arrangement to go. I'm going to rob you. Well, I don't like to be robbed. Okay, all right. I don't mean to rob you. I have to rob you, though. I'll tell you what, though, to make you feel better. You want to have sex with my wife? How about that? Will that make you feel better about this robbery? I'm going to take all your shit, but I'm going to let you sleep with my wife. And I think that'll leave a smile on your face at the end of the day, sir. Details. I want details. This occurred in Santa Venera, which is a village in Malta. The armed man, who they claim is someone named Themistocles Attard. Themistocles. Sounds like a Roman gladiator. Or a Greek olive farmer, either one. He was armed, Themistocles. He entered a shop, ordered the shopkeeper not to move while leaning across the counter, according to the business owner's testimony. The burglar had rushed out of the business, grabbing the cash register and carrying 500 euros in cash with him. However, the suspect had entered the business twice that particular day, picking goods off of the shelf and informing the shopkeeper he didn't have any money to pay for these goods. Instead, he offered him the opportunity to have sex with his wife and another woman, just another random woman. Yes, you want to have sex with my wife and what about that woman over there? Would you like to have sex with my wife and her neighbor and or the babysitter? Or what about that woman that comes into your store? The next woman that comes into your store. How about that? My wife and the next woman in the store. How about that? How about my wife and we turn on the television, whoever woman is on television. How about that? Another woman. All right. You drive a hard bargain. I would love, I need these groceries. How about my wife and 17 other women over the course of 2 years? How about that? I'll put it in writing. Okay. What I love most about this story is that the thief just decided to negotiate at some point. This doesn't always happen. It certainly doesn't happen in the United States. They just shoot you dead. They don't offer you to sleep with their wife or anything. It's just, you're dead. This guy's like, all right, I'm going to take your stuff, but I'm a reasonable person. I'm going to offer you some restitution. Hey, you might even have a good time. Yay! A gunman in Texas was stoned to death. That's right, stoned to death. This is 2021, not 1621. Still stoning people to death. I need more information. Fort Worth, Texas. A group of citizens in Fort Worth stoned a gunman to death after a shooting killed one and injured a couple others. This occurred just before 1 a.m. on Monday. Investigators say a man just started firing at a crowd in Fort Worth. This is what they do in my country. They just fire into a crowd. Just find a crowd and they'll fire into it. Yeah, the Kid Rock concert, the mall, the slip and slide. It doesn't matter. They'll find a crowd. The water park. They'll just go. What is it, bingo? Yeah, they'll just fire into a bingo crowd. Nobody cares. Just guns, firing into crowds. So he fires into a crowd, but I like the citizens took it into their own hands because a person died, 2 others are hurt. The crowd started throwing gardening stones that killed the gunman. This is insane. It's unbelievable. It's not clear what exactly led up to the shooting. Yeah, like we can even figure this shit out. Nobody knows. This just happens. It's just people just shoot into crowds. It's just unbelievable. And Jonesy, why aren't you having babies? I don't know, because people are just shooting into crowds at Kroger. The police have only said that it started with some kind of disturbance. Yeah, it started with a disturbance, all right. The click of a gun. Police also say the people involved all knew each other. At this point, no names have been released regarding the stoning and the shooting. That's the end of the article. I got no information. What the heck? I'm going to look at another one. Hold on. Okay, I've found that there are actually landscaping bricks. That's what was thrown at him. It says here, he was struck multiple times with at least one brick and was pronounced dead at the scene. It says the shooter had been attending this actual small backyard gathering at a home, but became upset and then left and then came back with a gun and was shooting. Just was what did he want? He thought he was getting some beef ribs. Instead, it was vegan, and he was very upset. This is what happens. People are crazy about their vegan diets. They'll come back with a gun at a barbecue. They're not. All right, I shouldn't make light of this. Let's talk about the real issue here that I'm fascinated by is that they just stoned this mofo to death. I mean, that's just crazy. This is like some old school, back in the day before there was an actual justice system, an angry mob that was the village would just take you and just, enact justice any way they saw fit. It could have been stoning, drowning. Maybe they did something. You ever heard of drawn and quartered? Oh, goodness. Jonesy, what's drawn and quartered? Oh, I'm glad you asked. That's when they tie all of your limbs, each separate limb to a horse. Then they do a little slice at the base of each limb. And then they go, yeah. And then the horses all go in opposite directions and they just pull your limbs off you. Yeah, they did that as well. They did all sorts of stuff. Remember tar and feathering, where they would just put you in the middle of the town? They rub tar all over your body and feather you and then put you in some kind of like wooden shackle thing. And everyone in the town could just run by you, slap you in the face or rub their feces on your forehead, whatever they felt like. Remember those days when the citizens would enact justice? Sometimes I feel like that we should do that some more. I want to see more shooters stoned to death. I do. Yeah, I do. I don't want to see them go to prison and get free meals, forever and ever and be able to, listen to podcasts. I don't know what happens to shooters in prison. I'd imagine they can do things though. Maybe still watch the NBA finals. I don't think anyone that shoots up a crowd should be able to ever again watch the NBA finals. I would love it if citizens would just bring him out to the town square, put him in shackles, and then slap him in the face for several weeks and other things. That would be great. I don't know. Do you guys agree? Disagree? Has Jonesy gone off the deep end here? 646-450-2012. You like podcasts? You're listening to my podcast. Maybe you thought to yourself, I'd like to make a podcast. Too difficult. No, not with Anchor. Anchor has free creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast from your phone or your computer. Anchor distributes your podcast to Apple, Spotify, Stitcher, and more. They have advertising integration, so you can even make a little money off your podcast. Everything you need to make a podcast in one place. Download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. And good luck with your podcast. Good luck with your creation. Good luck with your life, man. Dog pee is blamed for a traffic light pole's collapse in Japan. Yeah, dog pee is the culprit, guys. This is a huge incident in Japan. Police have concluded that dog piss was the likely culprit behind the collapse of a traffic light pole, which was found snapped from its base after 23 years of use. Despite its expected 50-year lifespan, these poles should last 50 years. This one, half of the lifespan. According to the Mi Prefectural Police, the traffic light was installed at a crossroad in the Sakurajimacho district of the prefectural city of Suzuka in 1997. You guys know the place. You've been to that intersection. You've seen this light pole many times, I'm sure. Well, if you went by recently, you would have noticed it's collapsed in the bushes in a nearby parking lot. No one was injured in the incident, thankfully. There were apparently no problems with the quality and the installation of the post. The police's forensic science laboratory, though, they got involved because there's zero crime in Japan. I don't know if you've ever been there, but there's no crime. They got nothing else to do on this police force but take a lamppost, drag it to the laboratory, and just do some CSI actions on it to find out what exactly happened to the light post here. What was the culprit? Yeah, zero crime in Japan. So don't perform any crimes in Japan because they will find you. They have nothing to do, really. So the laboratory found about 40 times the concentration of urea at the bottom of the lamppost compared with other traffic light poles that had been installed around the same time period. They went and tested them all. Can you imagine you're a cop in this Japanese police force? You gotta go around just doing piss tests at the base of lampposts. I'm trying to get the piss level on all these lampposts. I want to find out if the pee was the culprit. Wow. Unbelievable. How do you justify your salary as a Japanese police officer? I want to know. I want to know. Nothing going on ever that this is how you're spending your day. Now, after sending it to the crime lab, police believe it's highly possible that urea and salt in the dog urine eroded this 6.5 meter tall steel pole. There's a picture of the base of the pole. It does look rusted for sure. This site is actually part of a popular route for people walking their dogs. Oh, an investigation shows a lot of dogs coming by this area. I'm sure a cop went undercover with a dog just to find out, just to see. They got a lot of time on their hands over there. You'll be happy to know, guys, the pole has been replaced with a new one, but the police have already confirmed that some canines were peeing on the newly installed pole. They can't believe it over there. Wow, how they're already peeing on our pole? Yeah, that's what dogs do, guys. Do you know that? Dogs just pee on poles. They love poles, fire hydrants. Anything that's erect, they'll pee on it. That's just how they do it. Along their route, they'll do it. Police are taking some measures to prevent a recurrence, such as making sure that fluid cannot accumulate at the bottom of the lamppost. Oh, man, this article's there's more to it. It's just, they have a statement that they made that they would like to ask dog owners to be aware that and act accordingly, such as having their pets excrete at home. Yeah, good luck with that, guys. You take your dog on a walk, it's going to pee on things, even if it's already peed at your home. It's gonna sometimes your dog will try and pee and it doesn't even have any pee left because it's already peed. He's already peed, and then you know what I'm saying? Like they just feel compelled. They're compelled to pee on posts. Japanese police prefecture people, a lot of peas in there. No pun intended. Oh, we should all be living in Japan, by the way. How safe is it? It's gonna be so safe. Let's do it, guys. No active shooters in Japan, just active peers. Hi, this is Jonesy, and I want to thank you for taking a moment to join me for another episode of Weird AF News. Thanks for being here for that. I appreciate your support. I appreciate your listenership, as always. I'm going to publish a phone call or two after this if you want to hang on. And if you'd like to call the show yourself because you want to express yourself, you have an opinion, so maybe one of these stories affected you in some visceral level, and you'd like to call and let me know about that. The number 646-450-2012, and I'll publish calls here and there. So if you don't want me to publish your call, just say so in the call, and I won't do that. Some people do that, and I always adhere to those requests, of course. If you'd like to email me, it's funnyjones@gmail.com. You can send me articles or just say what's up. You can say, hey, Jonesy. Love it when you do those terrible accents. That always makes me feel good. If you'd like to support the show by joining the Patreon, that's pretty cool. I posted several things yesterday on the Patreon for those for your entertainment, if you happen to be a patron. It's patreon.com/weirdafnews. And yeah, it's a good way to support the show, and you get extra Weird AF content. If you like the show, you'll love the Patreon. Sometimes I'll even do follow-up pieces to stories that I did on the show, because sometimes I'll do a story and then a couple weeks later there'll be like an update on that story, and I'm like, I'm not going to do the story again on the show. I'll put the little update in the Patreon sometimes, just in case you want to follow the lives of some of these degenerates. If you want to follow the court cases. No, I don't put the court cases in there. I still try and keep it entertaining, But yeah, check out that Patreon, and you can join for as little as a couple bucks a month, which is like buying Jonesy a half a cup of coffee a month. Like, why wouldn't you do that, right? You can also join the Patreon by going to my website, weirdafnews.com, which is pretty cool. There's some stuff on there. Check it out, and tell a friend. All right, I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.
Oh, my God. Hi, Jonesy. It's Melican. I have got to tell you about your podcast on Friday. So I was listening, I'm from Florida. I'm in Tampa, and the pickle guy. He was in my store last week, dressed in all leather with a thong with dollar bills sticking out of the thong. And I'm listening to you going on and on about this person playing with a pickle and his pickle. And I'm just listening, half paying attention because I'm cooking. And you said, you have to see this man's mugshot with his glitter eyebrows. Oh my God, I died. So yeah, he came into my store. I run a very high-end store. He really, really didn't seem the type of guest that I normally get in my store, but we definitely treated him with all respect. And he was looking for food, and I said, oh, I'm sorry, we don't serve food. And he was just, why are you disrespecting me? I want food. And he was harassing my staff. And he was like, I just want food. And we're like, sorry, we don't serve food. We're a high-end store. We don't have food for you to eat. I can sell you a $400 box of steaks and you can bring it home and cook it, but I'm not going to cook it for you. So I just was dying when I heard that was the person, and he was in my store, and I told my entire staff, and they just were dying as well. Okay, sorry to be so long. Have a good one. Have a great week. Keep up awesome. Bye.